Well, my fourth hot take is, and I need to pick because I'm really like, who am I going to go with? Who am I going to go with? I might go with a very, very recent one, as last night.
Ooh,
How
okay.
familiar are you with the Friday the 13th franchise?
Um, Fairly.
Our sniffing is insane, isn't it? The
Yeah.
amount of sniffing. Sorry, people for hearing sniffing every 2 seconds.
I'm not fucking deal with
Like,
it. But aye, well, how do you mean? How do you mean? Like,
have you seen any of the Friday the 13th films?
I've seen most of them. I've seen the first four in order, and then I think I jumped to 10 for some reason. Or
Jason
Jason
X.
X, thinking Jason in space.
Jason
That's
X.
what.
Jason X is my first Friday the 13th film.
Oh, what?
And again, but then again, Matty, I was fucking 11 years old.
Yeah, fair.
Actually, no, I think I was even younger than that. I was 10, I was 10 years old. Because it came out just before Friday versus Jason. And again, I loved Jason X because again, Jason in space, Star Wars, all kind of shit. Like I loved all that. Jason X nowadays is fucking terrible, but it was fun at the time. Um, so right, have you ever heard of a film called Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday?
Yes.
Okay, directed by a very young director called Adam Marcus. If I'm correct, he was 21 years old. He was the youngest director in the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm sure he was Sean S. Cunningham, who's the producer of the Friday the 13th franchise. I'm sure he was his son's friend. Or I can't remember the story again. I've heard it multiple times in the big massive like 4 hour documentary, but I can't remember because it was 4 hours long and it was like a tiny 10 minutes of the documentary. I should have done my research on this. No, I remember, so it was Adam Marcus. He's 21 years old. He was youngest director. Blah blah blah. And they basically said to him, he pitched a film, and they were just like, okay, go. So Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, I think is a pretty decent Friday the 13th film.
Okay.
Um, if you're unaware of it, Matty, so what happens is Jason goes to hell, but not quite. It's not quite. He goes to hell at the very end. Spoilers. And it's actually Freddy Krueger. Freddy's glove, Freddy's arm comes out and grabs his mask and brings it into hell, which was going to insinuate Freddy versus Jason. But fans had to wait 10 fucking more years until that came out because
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
copyright, scripts, all that kind of stuff. So, well, I say copyright. They're both at the same company, New Line Cinema, which was obviously famously the house that Freddy built, New Line Cinema. So Freddy, Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday is basically the New Line version of a Friday the 13th film, produced by Sean S. Cunningham, the original producer, all that kind of stuff. Directed by a 21-year-old director with this ballsy idea. Jason in the opening scene gets blown to smithereens, and you think, oh, okay, fair enough. And when I first watched it like 20 years ago, I didn't really like it then. So I haven't watched it in 20 odd years, and I watched it just last night, and I was like, it's actually pretty good. So Jason gets blown up, all that kind of stuff. His body is then taken to a morgue, to hospital, all that kind of stuff, and it
Yeah.
turns out that his the entity inside Jason that keeps him going, then jumps to it needs a new body, so it jumps into his doctor, blah blah blah. So then the whole film,
I, I,
yeah, the
I
whole
did this.
film is
Aye.
Jason's essence, his
Conscious.
entity, jumping from body to body to body. So there's fuck all Jason in the film apart from the 5 minutes at the start and 5 minutes at the end, and then the odd like reflection in a mirror or a window or what that kind of stuff. So Kane Hodder's still there in spirit essentially, or Jason is still there in spirits, but it's like it's basically. I mean, it made a fucking lot of money. It was made for 3 million, and it made back like 15 million. So it made its money back.
Aye.
But it's known as the worst Friday the 13th film ever. But it's had a little bit of a resurgence, though. And I want to say that I think it's a 3-star, pretty decent Friday the 13th film. I
Okay.
like the ballsy approach of making it the changing the whole lore to Jason and have it that it's not the body, it's the entity inside him. Sort of like what powers Freddy, it's the entity from the demon the dream gods, all that kind of stuff. It was obviously spoken
Aye.
about in the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Similar thing to Jason. But then when we go to the original Pamela Voorhees, and I think his dad's called Eli. I think it's Eli Voorhees. Can't remember. But when we go back to the original Voorhees homestead, it turns out that there's the Necronomicon from Evil Dead, the actual fucking book. Now I forgot about this from 20 years ago. The book is
Okay.
sitting there, and the guy opens up and reads through the pages, and you're then you're then kind of like assuming that Jason is a deadite and that Pamela Voorhees, read from the Necronomicon and brought him back from the dead and blah blah blah. So then it's just a massive whole different fucking lore to the whole ability, the being of Jason, all that kind of stuff. That he's actually a
Aye.
deadite and he's powered by the Necronomicon. And I just want to say that I actually pretty fucking dug that film. I thought it was quite good. I liked it. At the end, I was just like, fair enough, it's Jason-less, and that's probably shit. But I loved that fucking approach. That was ballsy. Like, that's very Halloween ends. Like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, I might actually need to get a rewatch now because that's
It's
from what you were.
it's really good. Like I say it's really good. It's 3 stars. Like it's
Aye,
a standard movie, but they took some fucking swings.
because I think I vaguely remember watching it, like kind of put it on in the background one time because I'm talking about 10, 30, between 10, 13 years ago. It was on
Yeah,
Netflix.
yeah.
And but they didn't have all of them. They had like some of the lower rated sort of like Jason ones, and that was one
Good
of them.
old
And
Netflix have Back to the Future 1 and 3, but not 2. They have
aye,
Terminator 2 and 4, but not 1, 3 or 5.
but I remember sticking it on and then watching like kind of watch it in the background, and then like the sort of body jumping sort of thing as well. Like, and I thought like that was around about the time I hadn't actually got into like Friday the 13th. I obviously knew who Jason was just
Yeah,
from like who fucking Jason is. Like, but I was kind of going in thinking, right, I'll stick one on and see if can. I wasn't the first Friday the 13th movie, thank fuck. Like, otherwise I might
mm,
have actually just gave up on it altogether. But um, I do know what you mean. Like, it was a really ballsy approach. That
yeah,
was, but yeah, like the way you like. I don't like. I say I don't remember the Necronomicon bit.
yeah.
Now you've said
Neither did
that.
I. Neither. I was like, what the fuck? I've missed that part.
Now that you've said that, I'm going to have to go back and watch it, like, because that's actually a good fucking shout. Like,
Yeah, definitely watch it. Well, that's the thing as
uh,
well, though. That's the thing as well. Um, there's this bounty hunter, Creighton Duke, who pretty much does fuck all in the film. But he said to this big, massive bounty hunter who's had a history with Jason, had beef with him. He doesn't do much. Fun enough. And he says that Jason Voorhees, because he knows he's not dead, he's like, he's not dead, right? Jason Voorhees cannot get killed unless it's by a Voorhees. So it turns out that Jason's got a half sister who then has a daughter. So he's got a niece essentially. She's then got a kid, so he's got like so there's a bloodline still there. So they introduce all that. I mean, we already know he's got his mum and his dad who are obviously dead, but to introduce this half sister or a sister and then like a niece and all that kind of stuff, very Halloween. So, but it was like Jason can only fully die by the hands of another Voorhees, all that kind of stuff. So there's all that kind of stuff into it. But I fucking doesn't bother me. I actually quite enjoyed it. So
you've actually encouraged me to go back and watch it. So like that's, I I'm, I might give that one a second try.
right, what's your fourth hot take, Matty Monster?
I've already done my fourth. That's We're on to the last one, member Jordan.
Is it the last one now? Oh, the
Aye,
last stand.
because
Oh, here we go.
my number five and very controversial hot take that spurred us on to making this show a comeback in a random chat was I can't get into the Godfather trilogy,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't see why everybody likes it so
I
much
remember this
either.
conversation.
Um, I have tried my best. I can count on both hands. Like, and even though I'm for the Greenock area, I do have all fingers on each one.
Oh,
But
you were gonna say all five fingers. 10, 10.
but that's just the education system around here, right? That's what I blame that on. But yeah, aye. So the Godfather trilogy, I think it's because everybody has talked about it for so many years about how much of a masterpiece it is and all that it's got so overhyped in my head that I feel like I need to watch it to appreciate it and try and understand what he's talking about. But at the same time, every time I try and watch it, I end up falling asleep 20 minutes in. I just can't be like I can't get focused on it enough to. And I understand that it's like the first one's really good, second one's really good, third one everybody says is a bit iffy. But I can't even
I really like the third one. I like the third one.
if I can't get through the first one, I feel like I can't even really sit and watch the second or third one without you know. So
I can add to your hot take. I prefer The Godfather Part 3 to The Godfather Part 2.
okay, see that means nothing to me because I've
That
never
means
seen either.
nothing to you, but see to the viewers though, who have probably already switched off by now. But The Godfather Part 3, I think I isn't I like it more than Part 2.
Okay,
Part 2 I just think should have been two different films. The whole back and forth just kind of I was like I just wanted to concentrate on either Robert De Niro as Don Corleone or Michael or Al Pacino as Michael Corleone in the continuation from The Godfather Part 1. I just The Godfather Part 2 is like what I think of the Lord of the Rings franchise. It's an exceptional piece of cinema, but I just I prefer Godfather Part 3, which is actually among Godfather fans deemed the worst of the Godfather films. But I like to be a spicy bitch and fuck with shit sometimes and say, no, 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 Mon Sherry. I like I like the worst films sometimes. This is what Dan and Steve. This is what our chat's like. They'll say like they'll say something. I'll just be like, I actually quite liked it. I'm just like, of course you fucking liked it. Fucking that effing guy. Of course you liked it. Like you know, and it's just funny. But yeah, whereas our relationship's more. We're on par with each other. We're just like, ah, fair enough. I get that. That's fair enough. We're not
yeah,
just like, fuck off, Matt. You shit. Fuck. Come here back, Greenock. I mean, just like fucking. So yeah, I get that though, because I think the Godfather trilogy as a whole, like a fucking whole, like me and my dad first introduced it to me when it was the original VHS, but it was original like it was called the Godfather Saga, and it was just one massive continued story. There was no like the um the opening credits to one, end credits to one, opening credits to two, end credits to two, three, blah blah.
aye,
It was just one big massive story. So
film.
you had to basically put in the video for number one, take it out. Video for number two. I think number two, if I'm correct, came in two parts because it was like 2.5 hours long, nearly 3 hours long. So back then it came in two parts, two videos. And it came up at the very end of part one saying like and stupidly this is what they used to say, insert video number two. I'm like, and we watched more. So the video my dad had, the videos my dad had, which I wish he actually, because mum and dad moved house there, um, I said like, Dad, because I've obviously got my Star Wars trilogy, my Back to the Future trilogy. I thought it'd be quite cool to have that big Godfather saga book, that big box set. Fucking binned it. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, You just don't get it, do you, Fader? But he introduced me to the Godfather. I love the franchise. I mean, that's insane. Like I prefer number three to number two, but I still love the trilogy. But it's not again. Some people say like, what's the trilogy? Oh, Lord of the Rings, the Godfather. I'm just like, you know, Star
Star
Wars.
Wars,
Yeah, Star Wars. That is a
Jurassic
trilogy.
Park.
Yeah, Jurassic. Well, no, yeah, no, Jurassic Park. Yeah, because as much as I think Jurassic Park 3 is the worst of the trilogy, it's still Jurassic Park, and I'm like, but I'm not going to not ever watch them again because still, when I do a rewatch, I wouldn't go out my way to individually watch Jurassic Park 3 or Jurassic World Dominion. But so for like the new one coming out, Jurassic World Rebirth, which I think looks actually really. I was a bit skeptical when it came to Scarlett Johansson. I thought Scarlett Johansson, but she looks hot. I can't. She looks hot. Like I'm looking forward to Jurassic World Rebirth. I gave up the franchise after Dominion, but I was like, you know what, Rebirth looks really fucking good. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've heard a lot of bad things about it. So I think it's just a matter of just what I think. I think it's just down to your opinion, though, how
Aye.
you're feeling. Yeah, you can't get into the Godfather. I was like, where the fuck were we there? Right, that's it. So you don't. So like, right? So you've never. So you've gave it a try, but you just can't get through it.
Multiple times. It's not like I once that I've sat down and tried to do that. I've intentionally sat down some
That's like
nights just
that's like me with
making sure.
Guinness.
Aye,
I've gave
I've.
Guinness a try over the years. I'm just like I just can't get into it.
Well, it's not for everyone,
Yeah,
but like with the Godfather, like being the sort of guy that I'm like, who's into movies and who wants to kind of understand where everybody's kind of coming from. I try to give everything a good enough chance, but it's just.
yeah,
I think it's because it's been out for so long and it's been so hyped up in a
yeah.
way in my head that I'm like it's not going to live up to the hype that I'm going to expect as well.
I get
Um,
that.
and it's just like I think it's just because like I've struggled so much to try and get through like the first movie alone. It's kind of putting me off to actually try to do. And it's not that it's not. I don't think it's going to be a great movie. Like I fully do believe because I know who's in it, like cast
Yeah,
wise,
yeah,
and the guys that are in that have never like hardly ever put out a bad movie. Like
yeah,
even like obviously now like uh, now they're a lot older, they're still putting out movies that are absolutely kick ass. Like so,
yeah.
it's not that I don't respect the movie. It's just I don't know if it's just maybe my brain. I just struggle really hard to focus on it.
I
But
think
I can watch most other shit and be like that is shit. But like
yeah. I think there's certainly a I think there are certain taste of audience. Like I think when you look at them now, they're not your typical gangster films. They're not like Goodfellas or Scarface or what was I going to say? Is that a Bronx Tale? Bronx Story, Bronx Tale. Yeah, they're not your typical a Bronx. There's a Bronx Tale. Yeah, I think it
Aye,
is, isn't it, with De Niro? They're
aye,
not your typical run of the mill gangster films, which is just basically shooting and this and that, and you know, say hello to my little friend, all that kind of stuff. They're not your typical ones. I mean, Scarface is nowhere near your typical gangster film. It's very Miami. Gangsters are very
aye,
bright, colourful,
aye.
and fucking everyone's just beautiful looking until the end. Obviously, I love Scarface. I would say they're very I would say nowadays they'd be considered as very kind of art housey. Gangster films are very more about the drama and the story and the dialogue and the build up, the slow pace and all that kind of stuff. Well, the second one obviously, because the second one goes back and forth through time, like to present day or no, the 1950s or something like back to the early 1900s with De Niro playing young Don Corleone, played by I was going to say the great Marlon Brando, but I've only ever seen him in or three things, and that was Superman, Godfather, and The Island of Dr. Moreau, which is a fucking goofy film, especially the remake it is. Fun enough, Val Kilmer. Um, so I'd say they're very art house gangster films. They're not your run of the mill gangster films. It's very much like Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is not your run of the mill. Oh, I've seen him in Apocalypse Now, so four films. Apocalypse Now isn't your run of the mill war film. It's very art housey. It's
Mm.
very like slow burn, blah blah blah. Blade Runner as well. Like I don't love Blade Runner. I think it's visually stunning, and I think it's way ahead of its time. But I think it's quite boring at times. I prefer the sequel. I prefer Blade Runner 2049. I've always said that. Dan and Steve hate me for saying that, but they kind of they understand where I'm coming from though. To an extent, but I think they're just humouring me. um, I think Blade Runner 2049 is a lot better film. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049 was I would say, a very art house representation of your sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
But that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. The Godfather isn't for everyone. I understand that. I've met people in the past who are like literally full ass grown men. I've met guys who are literally in their 50s and 60s, and they're just like, I couldn't take to the Godfather. It just wasn't my jam. Wasn't my cup of tea. And that's fair enough. Like I get that. My dad hates all the. He's not a Star Wars fan. He's not a fan of sci-fi like that. He can't sit and watch. To be fair, bless his heart, he sat through Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith with me because I had no friends to go along with. Um, so he sat with me and watched that. Watched Spider Man. That's when me and my dad really. He would go to cinema with me and be my chaperone for cinema adventures. X Men, like I said, X Men 2, all that kind of stuff. But did he love the films? Was he interested? No. But he just thought, you know what? The boy's happy. And I appreciate that. Because me and my dad, I'm going off topic now. Me and my dad have never had a massively great relationship. We're better now because I've moved out.
Aye.
Which all dads say when you move out, you're the fucking best thing ever. Ever is, you know what I mean? It's brilliant. Your relationship's fantastic. I've always been more of a mummy's boy. But my dad was always there for me when it came to cinema trips. So I can appreciate him that way. He wasn't, I'm not saying he was never there for me for anything else, but like that's my, like, if he was to die tomorrow, which touch wood, I hope he doesn't do now, that would be my thing that my dad not only provided for us, obviously, as a dad should, which is why I'm struggling as a dad right now. I'm just like, oh shit, man, I've got a lot of living up to do here. I really have. I don't like this. It's scary. Um, but he was there for me when it came to taking me to the movies. You know what I mean?
Aye.
The pictures, as we called them.
But
But yeah, that was his thing. His thing is gangster films. His thing is The Godfather. Like he'll stand by and say The Godfather is the greatest film of all time. I think The Godfather is one of the greatest films of all time. But when I first watched it, I think it was drilled in my head that, oh, it's the greatest film of all time, 100%. But then as you get older, you're just like, well, it's not. You've got Ghostbusters. You've got, you've got Jurassic Park, which I fucking adore Jurassic Park.
I was going to say Jurassic Park is definitely up there with my
Yeah.
top five
But the
films
thing
of
is,
all time.
I think, see, and again, I'm going to go off topic here though, right? But I hate when you see all these movie lovers, all these cinephiles who are just like, if Schindler's List or The Godfather or The Green Mile or Shawshank Redemption aren't your number one favorite film of all time, then fuck you. You're not a true fan of the cinema, the arts and craft of movie making. Because like my four favorite films of all time, in no particular order, are Ghostbusters 1984, Halloween 1978, Psycho 1960, and Jurassic Park 1993, followed by The Empire Strikes Back, Mrs. Doubtfire,
Uh,
RoboCop, Terminator 2, Casino Royale, GoldenEye. Like they're all my favorite films of all time. Like I don't have like Jaws, obviously Jaws, um, but I'm not like, oh, I better say that Life is Beautiful is in my top five or Titanic. I'm just like, they're amazing films, amazing pieces of art, but they're not my favorite films of all time. And then you also get this thing as well, like people will say like your favorite films of all time or the greatest films you've ever watched of all time. And I'm like, but that is my favorite films of all time.
aye.
If I think they're the greatest films ever made, they're my favorite films then. You know what I mean? It's just so wanky at times. That's why I try and make my channel more like I just talk about the films that I love, not the
Aye.
films that I think I should love. 'Cause I feel as if you, especially as a content creator, I feel as if I'm doing an interview right now. I feel as if like when you're a content creator, you need to be you're supposed to set an example of go watch Shawshank Redemption, go watch Schindler's List, go watch Apocalypse Now. You need to see that before you die. And I'm like, nah, man, go see Superman. Fucking absolute ball. Go see the new Batman. Fucking great. I would say that the Batman, the new well, the Dark Knight, yeah, the Dark Knight or the Batman. I would say that the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson is far superior than Apocalypse Now because I had a good time watching it. Now Apocalypse Now cinematically is shot beautifully. It is fucking brilliant. The themes are just it is gut wrenching at times, but it's a long as fuck film, man. You can get there's so many different cuts. Like Blade Runner, there's like 44 different cuts. And for some strange reason, the only cuts that I've seen of Blade Runner in Apocalypse Now are like the fucking 4 hour cuts. I'm just like, when is this film going to fuck it? When's something going to happen? When are they going to blow up shit?
I mean that argument could be made for a lot of films,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah,
especially Chicken Run. Chicken Run's up there as one of my top five films of all time, and
exactly.
it
Toy
and it's
Story. Yeah,
and it's plasticine fucking
yeah,
chickens. Like, what's not
exactly.
to love? Um,
Exactly. Like like fucking. It's like Doctor Who, for example. Fair enough. Doctor Who right now is going through a dark stage right now. I understand it. I get it. Like I get where fans are coming from. I get both sides of the argument. But it's like when people say like, what's your favorite TV show of all time?" and everyone's like, "Fuck The Wire, Breaking Bad, fucking Twin Peaks." I'm like Doctor Who. What? Some fucking idiot in a fucking blue box time travel. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I love The Sopranos. I love Breaking Bad. I've never seen The
no,
Wire, but I can appreciate all those shows 100%. Obviously, I'm not going to fucking say that Sopranos is not a good show. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I'm a Whovian. Like that's my fucking cheese and toast right there. I love Doctor Who. I love Sopranos. I love all the other shows. Star Trek. But fuck, I leave it. Still Game. Glasgow's
oh,
own
okay.
Still Game is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Father Ted is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I could put it in my top 10. And it's just it's everyone's own opinion, but I hate the fact that I feel as if you need to please audiences. I'm just like, nah. If I'm happy and I enjoy it, then have at it.
Aye, good for you.
I know I was gonna say, yeah, shut the fuck up, Jordan.